Oh, damn it.
You're spicy fella now.
Spicy little boy.
Yeah, you sound real good.
Oh yeah.
You sound, yeah.
Your voice
Nice and
went from timid to like bend over
Yeah.
the bed. I'm gonna put my big fat cock in you.
Yeah, like I want to slather you with something, but it feels like you're already dripping in Szechuan right now. Like you're already so spicy. There's nothing I can add. There's nothing I can add to that's gonna make you any better than what you sound right now.
I'm going to make you my cock ring.
Oh no, Chris.
Oh my god. You guys are probably wondering why I have a grave site behind me. That's the cemetery from Pet Cemetery.
I was gonna say you've done much weirder things in the time I've known you, so I was just going with it. It's like, he'll tell me when he's ready.
Yeah, it's an improvement on Joss, I have to say. Somehow a cemetery of dead animals.
It's just a very dark joke, is all it is. Right. It's just my dog's dying, so I got the Pet Cemetery behind me.
Oh no!
You gotta.
I wasn't sure if you were gonna say it or just like make sure Derek and I realized what you had done.
Right.
And you did it, so I applaud you for that.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, I am not going to riff off of that joke. Like that, I'm not going to riff off of your dying dog. You can say all you want to say, but I'm just going to nod.
Derek, do you know why we're not going to riff off of it?
I don't.
Because sometimes dead is better.
Oh no!
The joke was right there. It was right there.
The thing is, like,
sorry.
The thing is, I feel like a lot of people probably listen to our podcast. We're like, these guys are heartless, soulless pieces of shit. But the thing is, like, my dog is dying. Like, he's got maybe like, let's be generous. He's got like, even if they can do a surgery, he probably only has like a month or two left, even with an expensive surgery. But humor is how we process everything. Like through whether it's joy, grief, blind hatred. So I mean, like even something that like personally is like heart wrenching to me isn't off limits.
Yeah, no, we make jokes so that we don't cry or make holes in walls or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly like there's that whole bullshit thing. Like, well, tragedy plus time is funny. It's like, well, no, but sometimes you got to laugh your way through. You got to grin and bear it.
Yeah, sometimes it's funny right away.
Yeah, I'm sure nobody was like, in New York covered in dust already cracking jokes about it, but there were people who threw their net.
Well, there was one piece of shit who was doing that though, right?
I mean, yeah, but he was doing it on the internet. You know what I mean? He wasn't
back on dial-up too. Like he had to wait for people to respond.
Yeah, but like, has anyone here ever been at like a funeral and you guys are sitting there like, with your cousins or somebody, and you're just like trying to make each other laugh to fuck with each other, like you're just trying to do anything. I mean, maybe my family's weird. I don't know, but every time there's been like a horrible like where we're all so bummed out, like one of us just starts fucking with the other one almost instinctually, and it just builds into this. Like my cousin Jesse's a perfect example. We would just fuck with each other so relentlessly. Like if one of us laughed, we knew our parents were gonna backhand us. We were like 11, 12 years old, but the threat of getting backhanded was worth the laughter to stop crying for a little bit. You know what I mean? To get a little giggle in.
One thing I always look for at a funeral, and all of the ones that I've been to, like something that makes me laugh, is that there's always, at every funeral, there is at least one person who's like being an exhibitionist, like they're trying to seem more like, just like hurt by it than they actually are, and I don't know, just that total fake fucking is just hilarious to me.
It's always like, it's always the guy who like dated the or the guy or the girl who dated the person for like a month before they passed away. It's like I'm sure you were hitting it pretty good for a little bit there, but shut the fuck up, bro. Like, don't throw yourself in the casket. All right, that's reserved for parents. Fucking relax. Verbatim, dude. Verbatim. I'm not gonna go too far into detail, but I was at a funeral. It was very untimely. It was horrendous. But this dude who I'd never seen before, not at a single family party or anything, didn't know he existed, walked in, sobbing, threw himself on the casket, hugging the casket and weeping until like one of the ushers had to drag him away. It was really funny, and then it got really uncomfortable, and then it got really funny again. It got way funnier than I expected it to.
I always worry, like, people throwing themselves on the casket. Like, what if one of the legs breaks? Like, what if the body rolls out? Then you're that guy that did that. Control yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
I always weird way to start riffing before the cast, but like when we went to the funeral of my what do you call your wife's grandmother? She's not technically related to me in any way, right?
I think you just call her your wife's grandmother.
Yeah, I'm gonna just call her grandmother because she was an awesome lady.
Well, yeah. I would say you call her grandma and then whatever her first name is, her Christian name.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, when I first was introduced to her, she normally drinks O'Doul's because she likes the taste of beer but doesn't want to get drunk because she fucks around even in her 90s. And someone had slipped her an actual Smirnoff. So the first time I met her, she introduced herself to me as Delicate Marie. And that was the beginning of a beautiful relationship. But I always have like funerals are really weird to me. I've only been to a couple. Hers was most recent. It was like 2.5 weeks ago, I think.
Yeah.
And I always have like at the funeral. I'm like, I always have this. I'm like, do I look at the body? Do I not look at the body? Like I know that's the thing. Like, and then I went up to see her, and she actually, I've been to a couple funerals, and they did a fairly decent job. She looked pretty good. Obviously, there's stuff you can't replace. But like, I had this weird urge to take a picture of her, and then no, I didn't. Don't worry.
No, but I just wish because like I had the urge again to add to my collection. Like,
oh no! Oh, gross. No, this is a heartwarming story of the weird thought that I had was validated because I didn't do it obviously because I was like, yeah, I don't know how anyone would take that, and I'm not even gonna try. But she looked really pretty, and I wanted to be like, oh, she looks nice, and they did a good job, and I was gonna send it to my mom who couldn't make it. Whatever, I had valid reasons. You fucking jerk off. And we like left, and my mother-in-law was like, oh, she looks so nice. I should have taken a picture of her. And I was in my head, I was like, yes,
yeah, I'm not a fucking weirdo.
No, but no, I mean, by comparison, you're not though, because like. People that are younger than us, like, I don't know, what are they, Gen Z now? I don't know, fucking, the ones who are eating Tide Pods, take selfies with corpses at funerals. They have selfie sticks, and they take selfies with, like, of themselves crying next to a body, and they post it on the gram.
So I gotta tell you, that's exactly why
I've ever sounded saying Instagram.
That's exactly the reason I decided not to, because I was like, I'd like to take a picture of her, and then I immediately thought of pictures I've seen of stupid idiots who are taking selfies with the dead body, and I was like, oh, Jesus Christ.
People would also think that you're like other people at the funeral would like assume that you're like an influencer, like a weird
or doing something creepy,
pulling out your phone and taking a picture and then just putting your phone back in your pocket.
Just look around. Also, you're looking real sus right now, Chris. Anyway,
there's nothing I can say that's not horrible. No, because like you think about well, I mean, it's not horrible, like, but it's, you think about people who like, even like when their grandmoms like in the hospital passed away, they take a picture of them holding their hand and post it. Like, why? What is that? What your grandma would fucking want? Is that how she wants to be remembered, as being the clammy old like paper mache loose skin hand on your fucking profile picture? Like, fuck, like. Not everything's about you. Maybe your grandma's death is about her and her leaving this world and that experience and how terrifying that is, and make it a little bit warmer for grandma.
Whenever I see those pictures of the hand holding, like every time in my head, I'm like, were they dead by the time this picture was taken? Like that looks that looks like a dead person's hand a little bit. That's always where my mind goes.
Yeah. This is a morbid cold open, boys.
Yeah.
This is really.
This is the weirdest open.
Does that mean
you guys gonna be like in a private group chat? Scott's fucking dog died. He's really a downer today, huh?
Honestly, it's already been better than I expected because we're all sleepy.
Yeah,
it's the cynical nerd. We're all sleepy boys. Yeah. My household's been like passing around the sniffles. Like my son woke up crying last night because he couldn't breathe. But he's fine today, and I just felt kind of shitty today. You worked like a ridiculous amount of hours this week, Scott.
Yeah. Well, I hit 45.
Very nice.
But I got all my bonuses though, so
I just have the shits. I'm just jettisoning water out of my asshole, and it's just like dehydrating me.
Speaking of poop, we talked about reverse entropy pooping a couple weeks back.
No. We did.
Yeah, and I was driving around today and I had a thought. I was like, every time I see my own shit or my dog shit or any shit anywhere, it disgusts me. My own shit in the toilet, wiping my butt disgusts me. But while my poop's inside me, I'm never grossed out by it. Isn't that weird?
Never even think about it.
Yeah.
I never even. Now I'm totally aware of the shit inside my body.
But there's like shit like I'm just like all day long I just been like, oh, like look at that my stomach like it's in there. Oh boy,
it's lying in wait, ready to jump out and surprise me.
I mean, you know what fatty meats for the last like 3 weeks. There's something in there.
Your bones are also wet all the time. You ever think about that?
Oh no.
I don't like any of that. Oh no.
I hate it.
I'm just going to start the episode off of that because I'm creeped the fuck out. Welcome to the Cynical Nerd. This is episode 16. Boys, we have to try our absolute hardest today to think of a name during the episode because shit, we didn't do that until after last week and it was a trial.
Yeah.
It was a fucking trial by combat in my brain. We have a decent amount of week in review, actually more than I expected. And then we're talking about WandaVision episodes 1 and 2 that were released on Friday, just 2 days ago. But before we do that, I'm joined as always by Scott and Derek. Scott, how are you today?
All things considered, man, I'm a good spirit. I'm doing all right. A little tired, but I'm excited to get started.
Word. Derek, how about yourself? Poop Master Flex.
Pretty good. Despite all the poop, I just want to sprint through this week in review, give it the time and attention it deserves, of course, but I'm personally going to be marathoning through it because I require the knowledge of what Scott thought about WandaVision. So I'm looking forward to it.
So I generally, Derek and I generally know how the other feels. We didn't, like I said, no details. I got a yay or nay from him, basically. I don't know
motherfuckers. Why? How dare you?
But we went no further than that. Derek was very good. He was very good about closing the valve. He was like, no.
All right, Virus.
Shut up, Chris.
Fucking traitor.
Without further ado, I'm also very excited to talk about WandaVision. Let's get right into it. So, first off, in Week in Review, there were some images released of the Mortal Kombat film that's coming out. Yes. It's set to release this year, April 16th, 2021. Because it's coming to HBO Max, we're going to get day and date release with the theaters, which we've talked about this before. It might be a shitty monetary deal for the studio, but it's already paying off. I'm excited. There's so many good movies coming out this year that I'm going to be able to just turn the fucking TV on and watch right away.
Dude, so many great movies and Dune.
And Dune's going to be in there too, though.
Yeah.
I hope it's like life changing and both of you have to eat shit and love it in the review.
What does it say that I'm more excited for Space Jam 2 than I am for Dune?
Did you see the screenshot of Space Jam 2?
Yeah, I saw a couple of them. Oh my God.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I right off the top, I'm going to be, maybe this makes me ignorant of, I don't know, Japanese, Chinese talent, Asian talent in the industry, but I don't know any of these actors. I think that's on purpose. I think it's lower budget. These are kind of unknowns, but there's a lot of people in this movie I've never heard of. That being said, the screenshots look pretty fucking great.
Yeah,
they do.
Yeah, I mean, you can already see what they're going for. Totally, like Jax's arms are a little cartoonish, like a little too much on this heavy on the CGI side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but everything else I'm seeing looks very grounded in reality, with the exception of like obviously the fire hand. I mean, like
that looks bad. The fire hand looks not good.
Yeah, I'm just hoping we're not gonna get Sci-Fi Channel original movie special effects on this one. You know what I mean? I do have to fuck TCN myself because I had implied that Liu Kang from the original Mortal Kombat was coming back to play Shang Tsung. It's actually Chin Han, who he played Lao in The Dark Knight.
Oh, okay.
So that's my bad. I was going out there just spreading rumors like
just
wildfire.
saying wrong stuff out there.
Yep, being a stupid dumb hunk of shit.
I mean, the thing with Mortal Kombat, if they can keep the special effects to just shoot everything practically. Yeah. And augment them with special effects. Because even if they're shitty special effects, if they're augmenting actual shots, it'll look good. And I mean, so the Sub-Zero picture, they're hiding his mask. I'm always curious to see what this faceplate's going to look like. But that's clearly a physical ice prop that they made. That looks great because it's real. Jax's arm's a little cartoony, but whatever. I mean, I know they're going to have to be CGI. Kano looks great because he's all physical. He's some scars and a red eyeball.
Yeah.
But look at these shots they're framed well. They're lit exceptionally well.
Yes,
I mean, they're very vibrant.
The lighting in the cage match pictures, especially like the ones where he has like the knuckle wraps on.
Yeah, it looks like Ong Bak or something with Tony Jaa.
Yeah,
It looks pretty cool.
Now, Kung Lao looks ridiculous. Like, the whole costume looks ridiculous.
It's not working.
Oh, come on. That's my favorite character with a slicey hat.
Wait,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, wait, did I wrong one? You
no, that's the right one, but you said with a slicey hat.
With a slicey hat.
And I just pictured you turning him on his side to, like, slice some boar's head ham for a second. Like,
oh no, he retires from Mortal Kombat. He's laying behind the counter.
Not even at a butcher shop proper, like at a Walmart. He's the delicatessen at a Walmart.
He's just laying there on the side looking like he hates everything.
And the baker's always just so high because he doesn't give a shit about the job. His wife's got a good job. So, like, he has to write on the cakes in between, like, slicing meat with his hat. You know what I mean? He's just got it real bad.
He doesn't even take it off. He just rolls his head.
I don't know why, but
like an asshole.
I don't know why, but in my stupid head vision of this horrible situation, he's not even slicing it himself. Someone's holding his head, and he's just good, like, pushing it. So he's standing here, like, for some reason his arms don't work. I don't know why. And they're slicing his head, and they're like, "So, how's your day today?" Yeah, it's good.
I mean,
you want a half pound or a quarter pound?
We could have an origin story for Jax here, you know? Like, he could have been slicing some meat and got away from it. You know what I mean?
So here's my question. I don't know if anybody knows the answer to this. The one person I know that I'm familiar with, and I know at least Scott is, I'm going to butcher his name, Hiroyuki Sanada. He was in The Last Samurai. He was in Sunshine.
Yes.
He was the guy in Endgame that Hawkeye gets into the samurai sword fight with in Tokyo. Great actor. They show him the way that this article's preface is by saying that it shows like a lore important scene from the games where the clans Hanzo and Baihan fight like hundreds of years ago. So I'm wondering if he's playing Scorpion himself or just that clan from that fight that happened all the way back then.
It's a good question, and I
think they're supposed to be like them back. Like, it shows where their feud started, back in feudal Japan
when they were.
But
mortal,
they're supposed to be themselves because they become immortal. I'm not sure how they're gonna give them immortality, but I believe he is playing Scorpion.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it would be weird to have him just in like a prologue thing, like a
there's no way they're gonna waste that talent. There's no fucking way.
Yeah, if he was,
of all the people in this, he's probably the most expensive.
Yeah,
you know what I mean,
yeah.
I was gonna say, this, unless it was a budget problem, they're like, well, we want to lend some air of legitimacy to this, so let's get him, and we'll just do a flashback.
Yeah,
it happens all the time. All right, I mean, I don't have much to say about it besides comes out in April. I'm looking forward. To, I'm like cautiously optimistic about this.
No, you should be excited for it because at the very least, it's going to be a dumb, fun, extremely gory, fatality-filled popcorn movie.
Yeah,
that's true. It is going to be rated R.
That's literally all the first one was, and that's where the benchmark is. Like this one, like you said it yourself before. Like, I'm a big fan of the lore of Mortal Kombat, but there's not so much there. There's not so much there that you can fuck it up. Like through all the games, these characters all have personal relationships. But in a film adaptation, all that matters is that there's a tournament to protect the realm of Earth from Outworld. That's literally it.
They just have to be fighting each other.
Yeah, and seeing it from the new perspective see it from this perspective of a new fighter who may potentially make his way into the games. You know what I mean? It could be cool to see like an outsider come in. I just hope that they're not going to miss Marvel us in, Square's Avengers. You know what I mean? Right. I don't want to don't tease my dick the whole time.
Yeah, that's a cool fact that you mentioned before we move on. So they EW, this was an EW article. They reported that once the kind of 10-minute opening sequence between the original, Sub-Zero Scorpion fight ends, it's going to jump to the present, and we're going to meet a wholly new fighter named, as you said, Cole Young. So it's cool. They're thinking at least a little bit outside of the box there. And shit, I mean, it's R-rated. They're taking it seriously. Okay, you're right. I've moved up a couple notches in my excitement levels. I think it's going to be pretty good. All right, so moving along, and I think this might be exciting to Scott. This news here about Shudder, no?
Well, we will see.
So there's a horror streaming service that I've never touched. I'm not sure how you feel about the service as a whole, called Shudder, and they have announced, it was an article written actually just today, that in 2021 they are releasing 11 films in 11 weeks, which I actually had to read several times because I was like, holy shit, that feels like a lot. That's because it is a lot. And that feels like a quantity over quality type thing, but
Yeah.
I keep hearing good things about Shudder from people who like horror, so that's why I was kind of like, I don't know, what do you think about it?
I mean, it depends. Like, I mean, you said it yourself. It is quantity over quality. You'll get a few gems in there, like Jay Burchell directed one recently. What was it called? Random Acts of Violence. Where he plays, the title character plays somebody who's like a comic book artist, and you start seeing someone reenact all the gory murders from his comic books on this sort of cross country trip to take into a Comic-Con. Huh. There's a lot of there's one a lot of anthology series. You know what I mean? Like lots of like smaller like Crypt Keeper style or Creep Show style movies. Lots of foreign films. The thing is, like, for every gem you find in there, you're gonna find like 8 or 9 shit shows. But the thing is, horror fans are in it just for the gore. So even if it's a shit show, if there's some good deaths in it, like, I mean, no one's claiming that Victor Crowley is a good villain or that any of the Hatchet movies were watchable beyond the splatter factor. Mm-hmm. But there's a whole subculture that like of horror fans that just they root for the bad guy. That's what you do. That's half the fun of it, is just watching these people who are all awful get butchered, and it's guilt free. You know what I mean? It's that Chick-fil-A sandwich you didn't pay for all over again. There's no emotional stakes. All these people are awful. Get them.
It is worth mentioning that 5 of these 11 films, I'm not going through all of them, obviously, but 5 of them have either been selected or have won some award at a film festival. So, I mean, maybe that's a good thing.
Let's take one, for example. Slacks. Okay. Slacks is a movie about a possessed pair of jeans that is brought to life to punish the unscrupulous practices of a trendy clothing company. Shipped to the company's flagship store, Slacks proceeds to wreak carnage on staff locked in overnight to set up the new collection. Yeah, subscribe to Shudder, guys. 11 films in as many weeks.
But you also have Hunted, which is currently streaming. A modern radical take on the Little Red Riding Hood fable. What started as a flirtatious encounter at a bar turns into a life or death struggle as Eve becomes an unknowing target of a misogynistic plot against her. Forced to flee as a predator, and his accomplice pursue her through the forest. She's pushed to extremes while fighting to survive in the wilderness, but survival isn't enough for Eve. She will have revenge. So it's basically The Last Girl. Or Final Girl. I
just love that I can tell that Derek read this article and went, Slacks, yep, gonna hone in on that motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
Did you really read all the synopsis? Because
I skimmed them, but Slacks, something about it really stood out to me. I can't really say exactly what it was. Maybe just the brilliance of the synopsis.
I mean, I guess this should have been obvious to me, but I didn't realize that Shudder did Shudder original films. I think you had just mentioned something about a series they did. But the last one on the list, actually, and I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it's Violation, which is a Shudder original. Then that one was, in fact, selected for the Sundance Film Festival, Toronto International Film Festival. I mean, it's hard for me personally to hear like a synopsis for a horror film and tell if it sounds good or not, unless it's extremely poor, like Slacks.
You're not into Slacks?
I gotta tell you, the market for the porn knockoff of that horror film is so easy. You just add an extra X on the end of that fucking title, baby. Boom, done. Ship it. Put some titties in it. You might even be able to use some of the original footage because most horror movies have titties in them.
Yeah, movies of this caliber always have titties.
Yeah. Otherwise, nobody would show up. Nobody's showing up for the demonic pants. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like I watched the movie on Shudder. Like the best way I could summarize it is this: I watched a German horror film on there called Yummy. It was a Shudder original with a German director, spoken language was German, the whole 9 yards. It's about a girl who has giant titties who goes to get a breast reduction, and while they're at the hospital to get a breast reduction, a zombie viral outbreak takes place. So it's just her, pre reduction, running around half naked, killing zombies, with just a bunch of other people who are all mangled by plastic surgery. That's the whole fucking movie. It's just.
Yeah, that's a winner. I'm surprised this is the first time I've heard of Yummy.
All right,
it's an hour and a half of just pure unbridled joy. If you're just stoned enough, it's incredible.
Right. If you're just on the cusp,
of
being a little lit.
Well, you can't get too fucked up because then you'll stop paying attention to it. And dive into an existential crisis.
Just enough to have it really suck you in and hold you there.
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes on this podcast, I'm forced to just ignore the transition between news articles because I cannot think of anything in the moment. And in this particular situation, it's a thin thread, okay? But because we're just talking about horror and now moving into giant, big titty vampire giantess lady.
I gift wrapped you the transition there.
Oh, no. We're going.
Speaking of giant pierced goth titties and endo zombie apocalypse, has anyone seen the Resident Evil Village teaser?
I was going to incorporate the title that was written here. I don't know which of you read it. I assume it was Scott, but I don't know.
Nope, that was me.
Oh, man, you fucking got me. Big titty Dompire in RE8 has 30-nothings everywhere achieving cream dreams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, suddenly I'm into Resident Evil. I don't know what it is.
My only problem with
she's like
title,
7 feet tall. She's the Zandalari troll in that trailer.
I know. I want her to fucking grate my nuts like Parmesan cheese and pour it back into my mouth. Jesus Christ. She looks good.
My favorite thing in the world is when Derek gets a little horny, talks about something hurting him, like someone hurting him, but like it's always
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like the dominatrix woman in Mandalorian that he wanted to?
Yeah. Mommy magistrate.
Yeah, no, I wanted to break my hands. She looks really, I like it. Mm-hmm.
But the best part is he's always stone faced. He never breaks.
I mean it. I think I'm trying to make you laugh.
Oh my god. You gotta fill those silences with actual words. You did this. Okay, I didn't actually expect to start crying. I would suggest Cream Dream is very good. As an alternative, Coom Bloom is another one that you can use.
Yeah.
Or, some Coom Blooms.
Potential podcast title, Dompire.
Dompire and the Coom Bloom.
Dompire Coom Bloom is the... Wow, that's a sentence.
Yeah.
So they released sort of a let me start. Sorry, that was my wedding ring on a glass table. Let me start off by saying I can't stand the teaser for a trailer. I can't stand it. I hate the entire industry notion to start doing that. But whatever. That being said, on no tangents here. They released a real quick couple clips together as a teaser for a January 21st reveal for more of a look at Resident Evil 8, which is also called Village. And the internet kind of broke. Everybody, the walls were painted white around the basements of America as everyone freaked out about this super giant tall vampire lady. And at first, I saw the image and I went, she might not be that tall. She might just be floating. And then they released like other kind of images that might have been in the trailer that I missed of her actually bending over to get through a door frame.
Yeah.
She's actually a giantess.
I hope she chases me around like Mr. X. I will let her catch me every single time. Mm-hmm. I'm never going to beat that game. Ethan's just going to get a spanking again and again and again.
Big titted lady aside, I'm actually looking forward to this game. I liked Resident Evil 7 quite a bit. We've talked about it before. How did you feel about 7, Scott?
I mean, the environments were cool. The family, like the boss encounters were really unique and awesome, especially Margaret. What a fucking nightmare. But the molded were lazy. You know what I mean? Like having half that. The only enemies in the game that were interesting were the family members. But aside from that, I really liked it. I thought it was cool. I was kind of put off at first by the first person mode. It doesn't feel like Resident Evil. It feels like this whole new unique animal.
Yeah.
Because you're not dealing with zombies in any way, shape, or form. You're not dealing with the Las Plagas.
I thought the first person was like I felt like it created. I feel like maybe they realized that like the third person thing, they sort of ran out of ideas with it. And so they found new ways to kind of scare the shit out of you in the first person perspective.
I feel like it's got to be so much easier as a developer to scare people with first person, right?
Oh, yeah.
And there were times that I only played the first couple hours, but there were times where I screamed at the top of my fucking lungs in that game.
Man, I want to watch you play that so bad.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
Please stream that.
I'm definitely playing Village too, by the way.
I played through most of 7 on stream actually, and I had an actual great time. There are clips of me screaming though. There's a couple cheap ones in there, but I mean they were effective because I almost peed my pants. Give me 20 years and a slightly looser bladder, and that would have been wet jeans.
The garage encounter alone, like the garage encounter, is one of the most fun, unique boss fights I've played in any game ever. I think.
Yeah.
Did you make that far, Derek?
That sounds familiar, but I don't remember it exactly.
I won't get too far into it.
It's very like, oh my god, how the fuck do I get out of here? Oh my god, you know.
It's just the guy, and he's like invincible, and he's chasing you around.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, and then you get in the car, and well,
yeah.
Well, no, but the thing is, like you said it yourself, like they ran out of ways to scare you in third person, but they also have kind of devolved into 2-player action games. I mean, like it's more. It lost the scare factor around Resident Evil 4. You know what I mean? Like, you can make an argument that some enemies in that game, because they're invincible, are a little scary. But it mostly became, you know, it was only GameCube. Like, it was a fun fucking action game. And same with 5 and 6. 6 being the most poorly received out of any Resident Evil ever.
Yeah.
They seem to be doing things in threes. You know what I mean? Like, we got the first 3 with tank controls. We got the 4 through 6 with the third person over the shoulder action games. Now we're getting first person survival horror again. Mm-hmm. So,
and besides, you know, the big titty Dompire, by the way, I think the game just looks cool. I mean, how you feel about teaser trailers is how I feel about cinematic trailers. At this point, I'm like, if you're going to release a cinematic, like have some gameplay to show too. It's just so weird to not, like, that's not what the game is. That's just pre-rendered cutscenes. But anyway, that being said, the setting seems very interesting, and so I want to play it, and it's only somewhat because I want that vampire to chase me around. They say video games appeal to the male fantasy, and for the first time in my life, I agree with that sentiment. I want her to catch me. Come and get me.
I'm going to have to try and isolate you saying, come and get me, and I'm going to have to use it as a soundboard.
Yeah, same. No, but like you said, like the setting's unique, the enemies variants, like we're dealing with vampires and werewolves, and people are like throwing their hands up. That's not Resident Evil. Like, well,
what is Resident Evil?
Yeah, like are you scared? Is it fun? Are you constantly managing your inventory until you want to throw your fucking controller through the drywall? Well, then it's Resident Evil, baby.
I gotta say, that has never been something I understand at this point. It's like just a staple of the series, but I can't stand.
Oh, it's fucking obnoxious.
Yeah,
but you gotta like go. Well, I gotta drop all these keys. I'm gonna need to pick up this shotgun so I can put this ammo in this shotgun and pick up those keys again.
Yeah.
It's a fucking nightmare.
All right, moving along to the next title. Keeping in video game news, this is more of just a one-off announcement. Could be good, could be bad. We really don't have much in the way of information yet. So Bethesda owns a studio. It's Studioception. So Microsoft bought Bethesda. Bethesda owns a studio called Machine Games. Ipso facto, Microsoft owns Machine Games. They are making a new Indiana Jones game. They announced in a short teaser, and I mean very short teaser on Twitch. It's not Twitch, on Twitter. It's a very short, like it's if you didn't tell you it was Indiana Jones, you'd be hard pressed to know it was Indiana Jones. They show some books on a fucking desk with some maps and a compass, and you're like, oh, cool. Generic survival game. Like, I don't know what's going on here. But then one of the shots in the trailer is an old camera that has a Lucasfilm logo on it, and they pan over, and there is the fucking hat of Indiana Jones himself. It gets picked up off the table. So they don't have a release date announced. The only thing they've said is it will be an original story. It'll be a collaboration between Machine Games and Lucasfilm Games. Todd Howard is the executive producer on the project, even though yeah.
Oh no.
So basically what we're saying is it will run on Fallout 3's engine, which they've never updated, and you'll be able to probably get like skins of the armor suits in the game because there'll be leftover files buried deep somewhere. Who knows? Bethesda revealed nothing else about the game in its brief Twitter thread, noting it will be some time before they have any other information to share. So before I give the floor up to one of you gents to get your thoughts on it, Machine Games, so we're on the same page, is the developer responsible for the most recent Wolfenstein trilogy of games, including the New Order, New Colossus, and Youngblood, which I have enjoyed all of them. Youngblood missed the mark a little bit for me personally, but that's because it had a multiplayer focus that I wasn't really on board for. Lucasfilm Games, meanwhile, which we'll talk about soon, announced a new game publishing label and partners. So, Derek, do you have any interest in an Indiana Jones game?
I have interest in the studio that did the new Wolfenstein games. I never played all the way through any of them, but I mean, I think that you guys are picking up on a trend here. I hardly ever finish video games, but they're good. They're actually really well done. So the fact that it's that studio is encouraging. I guess I missed that Todd Howard is executive producing. That's a little concerning, but at least he's not behind the wheel,
right?
Or like the captain's wheel, rather.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I anticipate hearing more information about it, but until then, yeah, I say they've obviously done well with other IPs, so yeah, it could be cool.
Word. Got.
I don't know, man. I don't like it's to me like this would have made sense 15 20 years ago, you know what I mean, like this would have made sense on the N64 or on the PS3 even. I just don't know. I like that. I'm thank God it's original story, but like how the fuck else would they do it, you know what I mean? Like you need like a best of compilation, like a greatest hits. Level 1 you're running from the fucking boulder, like of course it's a standalone story because you have there's nothing else, there's no world built aside from those tiny little snippets we see in the movie.
You mean you don't want to swing through a forest on vines like Shia LaBeouf?
No, but you know that's gonna happen though. You know there's gonna be pits full. It's gonna be like there's not a way that I can picture this game existing and it's not like Tomb Raider on PS1 quality to me. Like I can't get it out of my head. You know, I don't know why. Like I'm well aware that gaming has come so far. Like Shadow of the Tomb Raider is an incredible theatrical experience, and I think. When you see games like that where they implemented like storylines across 3 games continuously, they built these entire giant worlds. It just seems like it's unnecessary. I understand they own the property, but like there's people that have already taken inspiration from what you built in the 80s from your movies and are now doing it better in this format than you ever possibly could. Like those 3 most recent Tomb Raider games are fucking masterpieces, front to back, every single one of them. And like I know they tried to make they tried to make the new Tomb Raider movie based on the first game, and that doesn't translate both ways. And I'm kind of afraid that's what the case with Indiana Jones is going to be. Like they're going to get Harrison Ford's likeness. They're going to get if it's not his voice, but it's his likeness, it's going to ruin it right off the bat.
Yeah, they're not going to have his voice.
Yeah, if they somehow do have his voice and his likeness, they're going to rely too heavily on people being nostalgic, and it might not get the same heart and like careful. Like attentive, you know what I mean? Like attentive touch that like the Tomb Raider games get, that like the Uncharted games get, because they have to. They don't have a 40-year built-in fan base.
I mean, the good news is if they get his if they use his likeness, then realistically they could just grab clips of him from either Star Wars or Indiana Jones, because guess what, boys? They're the same character. Yes, I fucking said it. Han Solo and Indiana Jones are the same fucking character. Same character arc. That's probably not true. But
Harrison
I mean,
Ford is always just kind of Harrison Ford.
Yeah, even when he's the president of the United States and Air Force One, which, by the way, great 90s film.
Yeah. When he says get off my plane and kicks fucking Gary Oldman off the plane, dude. Get off my plane.
Even in The Fugitive, which is one of my favorite films of all time, he's still just Harrison Ford. Like, he doesn't give a shit. But he gets away with it.
He has a range of emotions that he could portray, but he always portrays them the same way. I couldn't imagine him like in like a character film where he had to be like Stephen Hawking or something. I can't imagine Harrison Ford playing somebody else.
Great.
Yeah.
I can't imagine like him doing a biopic where he has to like learn someone's mannerisms and shit. He just wouldn't do it. He'd just show up like, no, you know who I am, right? Fuck you. Like,
yeah, you know, I'm like the gruff, lovable, like rough around the edges. Father figure, love interest, kind of dangerous.
I'm not shitting on Harrison Ford. He's a gem. He's perfect, precious baby boy. But I think we've already had enough with Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. We don't need a game that's gonna fall. It's because it's not gonna meet the same standard that Shadow of the Tomb Raider does. It's not. They're not gonna put in weather effects that change on a daily basis depending on when you play the fucking game, what time of year you play. They're not gonna have. There's not gonna be 120 hours worth of story built into this fucking thing. You know what I mean? It's just not.
Can I posit a weird offshoot theory? We've talked about Kingdom of the Crystal Skull before. Derek, you haven't seen it, right?
I have not. I haven't seen any of them.
The movie's not good, and I will never defend that film. But I think, and see if you agree with me or not, I think the movie would have been made a skosh better, like just a hair better, had they not actually, spoiler alert, revealed the flying saucer at the end. Because if I think about other Indiana Jones films, they never show flat out and in 3, I can't spoil anything, but like they never show the MacGuffin.
You totally can. You absolutely can. It's okay.
Like right out in plain sight. It's always like, oh, this thing. Oh, we think it's that like you see clues and clues and clues, and then they have this big kind of scene, but they don't show inside the fucking Covenant. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they don't show you what's inside the Ark of the Covenant. I mean,
I'm not saying it would have been better. I just think it would have been a little better.
I just think, hey, man, aliens. Like, I get that. That whole Ancient Alien show was huge at the time, but why the fuck? There's so much wrong with that movie. First of all, like Derek, we're not watching Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
I don't want to.
So I'm gonna spoil the fuck out of that one. How do you survive a nuclear test site in a fucking was a refrigerator solid 2 feet of lead on all sides? Is that how he came out unscathed? No radiation sickness. He's not vomiting. He's not bleeding from his fucking eyes and asshole in that fridge. But also the shockwave of that nuclear blast threw him and that fridge so far so fast he would have been liquefied when the fucking door fell open. It's stupid. It's fucking stupid.
It's really stupid. And I'm watching Derek realize that Scott's serious, and yes, this really happens.
Yeah, but also,
I'd rather if we do the watch-alongs. Hang on, if we do the watch-alongs, I'd rather do the first 3 and then just have you two tell me everything, like a synopsis, a shared synopsis. Can we write We'll share a doc and we'll outline it together, and then 100%. We'll read it, and we'll read it until one of us starts crying from laughter, and then the other one has to take over.
Yeah.
I thought that scene that there's so many. Like very shitty scenes. There's 1 or 2 that aren't bad. The diner scene when they escape out with like the motorcycles, that had the feel of like an older Indiana Jones scene.
Yeah, you know it didn't though. When they go looking for the fucking Ark of the Covenant in that giant warehouse,
exactly.
And every time something blows up, it has like MCU physics. Like people fly like 40 fucking feet.
Yeah.
Like well, no, he just would have been full of shrapnel and fell down and fucking died at that range. But
yeah, there's very small glimmers of Indiana Jones in this film, but it's so bad. My favorite part about the fridge is that they go out of their way to show you that it's lead lined, and I'm like, what the fuck does that matter? He just got thrown, like you said, like 500 yards through the air, because of a blast explosion. He's fucking dead, bro. He just broke every bone in his fucking body.
Yeah, he would have been a thin smear of paste on the inside of that. Like just a weird.
That's one of those movie tropes that's so annoying. It's the same thing as like when you watch like Superman and like he catches the chick who falls from the building right before she hits the ground. She's still going to be pudding in his fucking arms, man. Like, she's already at like terminal velocity, dude. She's done.
Like her entire middle of her back is just hanging in between your arms. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're the man of steel. She essentially fell 12 stories and they got caught by a fucking.
Yeah, it would have been more merciful to just let her hit the fucking sidewalk.
Yeah, like his arms are basically like the metal prongs on a fucking pallet mover. Yeah, forklift.
Yeah, I mean, just because we're in the vein of like, come the fuck on. Gwen Stacy's death for me was like minimized when I realized that he catches people like that all the time and they're totally fine. So they only relied on actual physics when they wanted to murder her. But every other time he catches somebody an inch from the pavement, they're not going to die from whiplash or fucking broken bones or something. Like, get out of here.
Well, she hit her head on the ground. Not that it makes the physics any less bullshit.
In a movie she did. Yeah. In the comics, she just snaps her head back. Oh. And I'm like, he catches people with webs all the fucking time, bro. Come on. Come on, bro. Anyway, all right. So we'll move along because we got off on that was a good tangent, boys. High fives all around. Good sleepy tangents.
Fuck that movie.
More video game news before we move on to
Hang on a second. You said high fives all around, and I'm the only asshole who actually went in for a high five. So
that's fine.
Fuck it. No, I already did mine. I'm done. I did it. You guys catch up. All right, now please continue.
I'm so sorry, Daddy Dompire. Daddy Dompire, that's a good one. I like that.
Yeah, we gotta get like Derek like a little leather collar with whatever her pet name for him is on it. No, we gotta get Ron like some kind of like what are those things like rompum stompers, like the fucking like where like they make you like 3 feet taller when you walk on them.
Oh, just get some moon
big
shoes.
Fucking hat too.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna start mailing Ron parts of her cosplay for that thing
and explain nothing.
Yeah.
Why is there a corset that's like 6 times too large for me to fit in? Oh, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
All right. So moving along, some more video game news before we get to some just choice trailers this week to talk about.
Oh yeah.
Star Wars, Lucasfilm Games specifically has made a deal with someone that's not EA for once. They have made a deal with Ubisoft, the Division 2 developer, and it will to make a new Star Wars game. According to this story, it will be a new story-driven, open-world Star Wars adventure. That sentence, that's my Coom Bloom. Hearing story-driven, open-world Star Wars adventure, that is my cream dream, my Coom Bloom.
Yeah, Coom Bloom makes me think of like a pink sock. Can you please stop saying that? They a little like.
Yeah, like a fungal coom is coming out of the tip or something. It's not desirable. Yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah, I'm picturing a penis that looks like one of the infected from The Last of Us.
Oh, no!
Clicker cock. You got that clicker cock, boy.
I'm sure there's Rule 34 out there of that.
Oh,
somewhere.
no.
So
and we'll get to the bottom of that, listeners. Don't you worry.
Full report next week.
I'm Googling it right now.
There's some really interesting information in this article that I personally didn't know about this. So they're talking about the engine it's going to run on, and because of that conversation.
Oh no!
No! I don't want to see it.
Yeah, put it in Discord. Do it.
It's real.
I know it's real. Everything has Rule 34. Literally everything. So do I even want to look at Discord when you put this up?
Yeah.
I mean, it depends. It depends how badly you want to see Papa Joel getting bummed by a clicker.
Oh, no. I mean, I was gonna say you buried the lead, but that clicker is apparently.
Oh no.
Oh, hang on. Oh no! Gross.
On today's very special episode of Burn Down the Internet.
Jesus.
Oh no, that clicker's got a bigger dick than I do. Oh,
it looks
God.
like somebody just duct taped a bunch of Slim Jims together, though. It's so gamey.
That's a cut of venison, all right, boys.
I gotta burn my hard drive.
I was gonna say you don't have to bury the lead with the next one, but that clinger's burying the tip of his Slim Jim hog in Joel's bum. So
yeah.
Anyway, fuck, I can't get that out of my head now. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
I'm glad
the information I wanted to talk about is the unnamed Star Wars title will be developed on the Snowdrop engine, which was recently used by Massive Entertainment for the Division 2. It's an engine that was also used in South Park: The Fractured Butthole, because I'm a child and that title still makes me laugh, and the Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle. The only interesting thing of that is that they're using this Snowdrop engine that's typically used for open worlds to do something more linear, and that it's flexible enough to do that, because it's not often the case with a lot of these things. I don't know. I guess just about the spirit of the article, Derek, are you excited about the Ubisoft deal, or do you not give a shit?
I mean, like, all right. So it's great that they're breaking out from their exclusivity contract with EA, because obviously EA is terrible. Not that we've gotten nothing but shit from them, because we got, why can I never remember the name of that game?
Fallen Order.
Jedi Fallen Order. Thank you. We got Fallen Order out of it. But of course we had to, hold our nose through two shitty. Are you thinking about the clicker fucking bum and Joel? Okay. I'll just keep going and you take all the time you need. And so, to have another soulless sort of corporation, Ubisoft, you guys keep going. It's all right. I'm good. Is a little alarming.
His laugh is making me
but
laugh.
Massive was really, they did the Division 1 and 2, which Division 1 didn't have the greatest launch, but Division 2 I hear is pretty good. So who knows? They could do something really interesting with that. And those are my thoughts on it, Chris.
I'm glad I heard them. It wasn't the picture itself. It was Scott's joke about the bundle of Slim Jims.
It's
pretty accurate.
It's like a stick of TNT.
Fuck, dude, it got me. Look at that pork sirloin he's jamming there.
Oh my god, yeah. That clicker's got a bad case of the peep cuck.
What a blessed clinger. Scott, how do you feel about the Ubisoft deal?
I mean, I'm on the fence. I gotta be honest, I haven't played any of the games they listed that have used the engine. Like, I don't think I've touched any of them. If it's gonna be something more in the vein of Assassin's Creed, but a Star Wars formula, like, I'm into that a little bit. I don't know, man. It depends on how it's gonna work, like what the plot's gonna be. I think because like we've seen sort of an open world formula with Jedi Fallen Order. That game is beautiful. I hope EA gets to retain the contract for that series and keep doing what they did with that, because from what I heard, there's rumors of it being a full trilogy. I don't know, man. I want to be excited for it, but I feel like it's hard to get excited when the only information you have is we use this engine to build Mario versus Rabbids. Because I just think like,
yeah,
like I know it's got Mario in it, but it still feels like it's like that off-brand cereal that comes in just the bag. You know what I mean? Like the like for some reason, even though they're the same price, the poor parents bought Mario and Rabbids instead of buying Mario Odyssey. You know what I mean? It just feels like,
yeah,
it's like that the last game at Walmart that no one wants to play, and it just makes me feel gross when I think about it existing. Does anyone else get that? Like the whole rabbits thing, I don't get it. I don't fucking know why that's a thing. I don't know how. They're just minions, right? They're just fucking minions,
Basically.
but you can't get sued.
Yeah.
They're fucking awful. It's a stupid fucking thing, and I hate it. I wish
But
Mario.
listen, sometimes bagged cereal is better than name brand. Every now and then, Fruity Pebbles in a bag, chef's kiss, baby.
Okay, all right. No,
I'll
no,
have to taste test that
it's just,
I recommend it.
sometime eventually.
Like I know Mario's kind of gone off the rails because his hat talks to him now, and that's fucking stupid. So I mean, like,
Did you
whatever.
play Odyssey? No, I will defend this game
Odyssey's really
to
good.
my last fucking breath. Hattie is incredible. That's his name. No, it's Cappy. I'm sorry, Cappy.
Oh, that's fucking stupid too.
Go play that game right now. You will not regret one moment of playing that game.
It look, it's definitely for me not about the hat that's kind of a person and it's creepy. It's the gameplay is just really fun. That's really what it comes down to.
I have no doubt of that.
Cappy is
I have no
Cappy
doubt
is
that
wonderful.
every Mario game, with the exception of Sunshine, has been brilliant in my entire lifetime.
Fuck Sunshine. Thank you
Yeah,
for
right?
saying that. My
Fuck
God.
Sunshine extra hard.
It's like you like imagine the great irony that like your mom's yelling at you because you haven't done the dishes, but you're busy hosing off shit that doesn't even exist for free.
Yeah.
You know, and now you're not gonna get your allowance because you're busy
And not
playing
even
Mario
having
Sunshine.
fun doing it because
Yeah,
the
yeah,
mechanics
it's like-
are terrible.
Yeah, because you got to hose down something for 45 minutes and then a boss pops up and just makes it dirty again.
Yeah, I hope Super
fucking
Mario
stupid.
Sunshine gets fucked by that clicker cuck. That dirty Slim Jim bad boy. All right, boys. We had
If
two
it had an
trailers.
orifice.
Oh,
If it had an orifice, it would be a power bottom. It would fuck you back. You know what I mean? Because like that game had no love or respect for its player base at all. It would just be angry throwing that thing back at your dick.
they were trying to train a generation of children to wash dishes and cars and houses and
Yeah,
everything.
we saw through that.
Yeah, I wonder
You
how
know
that's
what
going.
you're
Though, 'cause that's the you won't always have a calculator bullshit all over again. It's like, well, every fucking house I've ever lived in had a dishwasher, and now I have a calculator all the time. Fuck you, Mrs. B. Siebert. Fuck you, Mrs. B. Siebert.
What do they do now?
She's
I
probably
guess I'll
dead.
find
She's a
out
nice
in
lady.
5 to 6 years. But I don't know. But what do they do now? Like every kid has a cell phone.
I bet
can't
they still
obviously-
make you buy a calculator, but you're like, no,
Yeah.
really, this one's
A
better.
TI-88
Like, oh, I'll
too,
take your
like
word
the same
for it.
model.
Well, it doesn't make sense to me that they changed to Common Core math, but like you still use a calculator for like why? Why don't you just teach kids how to use their fucking calculators on their phones?
Yeah, I don't know.
Common Core is
stupid.
the one boomer hill that I'll die on with them. It is the stupidest thing. It is the stupidest. Have you seen someone do Common Core
It's just addition and subtraction with extra steps.
with way extra steps, like a lot more extra steps?
Yeah. Well, it's
I
like it
legitimately-
becomes 4 problems in one, which it's good to practice to learn addition and subtraction because you're doing 4 problems to solve 1 problem.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the merit behind Common Core is because obviously they chose it for I'm on Derek's side. When I heard about it and then I found out I was going to have a son, I was like, no. At the very minimum, sure, he'll learn it because he has to. He'll learn how to do math the normal way. Like that was my boomer thoughts. But I'm actually a little interested to see like why they've introduced like what benefit does what purpose does
It's
it
meant to
serve?
simplify the understanding between real numbers and like fractions and stuff like that. Whereas if you're looking at everything from a base of 10, you're basically like adding and subtracting and multiplying fractions more easily when you look at like 10. This is boring. This is not good podcast. Let's move on.
That's riveting. It's actually hilarious that America would adopt putting things in bases of 10 for math, but not for anything else because we're on the fucking, worst system on the planet that no one else uses. Metric for life. Anyway, moving along. We have 2 trailers to talk about. They're certainly trailers. They exist in the world. The first one coming
I'm
up
very enthusiastic about that, Chris.
is going to be a CW series that premieres Thursday, January 21st, coming up pretty soon here, a couple of days. and it looks like it's going to be a Walker Texas Ranger reboot starring I forget his name. I know it's the same gentleman. Oh, Jared Padalecki, the guy who was in Supernatural and was also the Dean in Gilmore Girls. Sure, I know that because my wife loves that show.
He was also in Friday the 13th as Clay Miller in 2009.
This show looks like justice porn for Al-Qaeda.
For Al-Qaeda?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's all I got from this trailer. It's like, oh, he's a Texas Ranger and he's going to go kick some ass and all his wife's dead. That's saying.
He's a bit rough around the edges, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Harrison Ford could play this guy.
I mean, look,
why would you leave one bad show and then sign on to another bad show immediately?
Yeah. Does anyone
that's one of the reasons I put this in the thing, because like, it just seems like he loves the CW. I haven't seen anything on the CW that I have. And I already see you doing that thing that you're doing, Chris. But
he's going to talk about The Flash.
Yeah,
no, I'm not.
But anything that's on the CW, I just feel like I have too much respect for myself to watch it because it's on the CW, and all their other programming is terrible. Like this very well could be good because like it depends on if you. It could, but well, no. Like the thing is, like if you grew up watching Walker Texas Ranger, this has that nostalgia factor built in. I mean, no one expected the fucking Lethal Weapon show to be good, but until they recast and added Sean William Scott to it, it actually was a really well written show, and it had some really good TV moments on it. Like it's shallow, it's TV action. They play on the dead wife trope. Every fucking cop show does it, except for the Commish. That show was great. The fucking Commish. I don't know, man. It's a step up from Supernatural for sure.
It's actually a pretty arguable point.
I was going to say, is it that he loves the CW, or is it that no one else in Hollywood loves him? Because I kind of feel like he's trapped there and he can't escape. It's like a pocket reality, but it's everything he hates all the time.
He's just stuck in that Dormammu moment from Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
But that moment is him cashing another soulless check from the CW every week.
Hello, CW. I've come for work. that's his cycle of torment. I don't know.
He had a film career in like the early 2000s, like the 2005 to 2009. He was in a couple of horror movies.
I was going to say short-lived.
Yeah, but I mean, some people are just better. Some people are just better suited for television. You know what I mean? Like, you never saw the cast of Buffy do anything break out besides Sarah Michelle Gellar. And
that's true.
That's very true. But it's always really sad when you see like someone who is like a TV star, and then they like make the decision to like leave the show halfway through. Like, no, I'm starting my film career now. And then they're in one film that bombs, and then they go back onto the show.
Oh, you mean like Andy Richter from Conan O'Brien? Remember that? He was like, he was gonna go pursue film, and then he was in Scary Movie 2 for like one scene with James Woods.
And then what's her name from American Horror Story was like, actually, I'm better than all of you. And then her film career just tanked, and she's like, I always loved all of you. I'm back. It's just like,
wait, which one? God. The young blonde?
No, the older one, I think.
Oh, Paulson?
Yeah. Didn't she come back? I thought she came back.
I don't know. I stopped watching that show a long time ago.
Me too, I've seen all of them in bits and pieces. None of them are good, really.
Yeah. No.
I had come to the conclusion after the first 2 or 3 seasons that their writing room must just be a dartboard.
Yeah.
And then they go
and they're all jerking off too.
There's no foreshadowing in the show because it feels like they just introduced next random fucking thing. After next random
it's like
thing.
It's like that episode of South Park where they show how they make Family Guy jokes. It's just manatees picking balls out of a...
Yeah, that's exactly what I pictured.
Nothing solidifies to me that show has no direction, like no intentional direction, more than the fact that they had Cuba Gooding Jr. sign on for a season of that show.
Yeah.
And they had, what's her name?
Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga, yeah.
Well, I mean, she was in season 3. They had Cuba Gooding Jr. in season 5, the Roanoke thing, and they did like 4 different, it was like, half of the show was a reenactment of the actual murders that happened, and then they first they showed the murders, and they showed a reenactment of the murders of like a true crime TV show. Then they brought Cuba Gooding Jr.'s character back to where the murders happened for like a 10-year anniversary, all over the course of like 8 episodes. You're like, what timeline are we on? None of this makes any fucking sense.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's all very high concept, and it never works. Like, they always have the seasons have really great like first episodes that get you interested, and then just goes off the fucking deep end so quickly.
I've watched all of it though. Like I watch it the same way Derek watches trash TV. Like I know it's not good, but like whenever there's a new one that I can binge, right? Whenever there's a new one like in its entirety that I'm not gonna watch it week to week. I'm not gonna set it for the DVR. But like a year or two later when it's on Netflix, I'll waste 8 hours of my life. I'll get really, really high, order a pizza, and just sit there and just hate myself and the show. And it's beautiful. It's important to take time for yourself, listeners.
It really is.
Please
treat yourself. Derek, any final thoughts before we stop talking about the show?
No, what's the actual topic that Walker, Texas Ranger, that's right. Yeah. Nope, no thoughts. That's it. My one joke about leaving a bad show and signing on to another. At least the other guy seems to be moving into good TV.
Hopefully. All right, moving along. Next trailer we have up. This is for a film.
Ooh, yeah.
Called Willy's Wonderland. It's going to be starring our best friend Nicolas Cage, who we can't seem to stop talking about. The synopsis for this film is when his car breaks down, a quiet loner agrees to... Nick Cage is anything but quiet. Agrees to clean an abandoned family fun center in exchange for repairs. He soon finds himself waging war against possessed animatronic mascots while trapped inside Willy's Wonderland. And this comes out, I assume, direct to streaming services February 12th, 2021. I don't say I assume because it's the pandemic. I assume because the movie looks a little like garbage. I have one thing to say before I pass off the reins to Scott. He looks very excited to talk about it. I was pretty on board with this. To be honest, I can understand how kind of camp it's supposed to be and like tongue in cheek and fun and like ridiculous.
I already know exactly what you're gonna say.
That they stole the fucking Rorschach line.
Yep. I fucking knew it. I'm like Chris is gonna hate that so much.
Yeah.
I hated that with every cell in my body.
He's like, locked in there with.
Oh God. I was so
He's
bad.
not locked in with them. They're locked in there with him. Like,
yeah, I'm like, okay, the gore here is
not as cool when a 17-year-old girl says it, is it?
No, it's not. You got to have the fucking gravel in your voice of a homeless, crazy person who.
And it's not even like that movie came out in the 70s. Like that movie came out a couple years ago. Like people remember that line. It was a memorable line. Like,
yeah, it's been like 12 years,
something like that.
I actively watched that clip on YouTube because it's so badass of a scene.
It's very good.
Unfathomably badass. He dumps an entire vat of hot oil in that guy's face. I wish I could summon the gravel necessary to reenact it because his voice is just so fucking good in that movie.
You got to chain smoke for like a good hour straight. We're just breathing nothing but menthol cigarettes.
You have to not take care of yourself.
Yeah, and in between every drag with the menthol, you have to spray hairspray down your voice, down your throat, like that guy from fucking.
Yeah. My name is Vitoli. How can I be of assistance?
My name is Vitoli.
It
looks like Five Nights at Freddy's the movie, right? 100%?
Yes, I was going to say. So it's basically a ripoff of the Rorschach line and Five Nights at Freddy because some of the animatronics are like, I was like, oh wow, no, that's from the game. Like, what did you guys do? What are you doing here?
I'm here for it though. Like, I'm not expecting it to be like good at all, but it's not gonna be Mandy quality, but we're gonna get, it's gonna be better than that fucking dumb jiu-jitsu movie that we all contemplated watching. Thankfully none of us had to do it. We got away with it, boys.
Don't bring it back up.
But this one I'm actually excited for this one because it's gonna have the gore factor. Everyone who's not Nicolas Cage and the narrator are gonna die clearly.
Oh yeah,
and I'm excited to watch a giant animatronic bunny rabbit with crazy jagged sharp metallic teeth bite someone's fucking arm off at the shoulder. That's all I want to see. And to watch him beat it to death, you see the oil spraying on him, like he's beating that ostrich to death, dude. Like
there are some genuinely creepy shots. I'm a kid who grew up watching films like The Labyrinth with David Bowie, and there's puppets and animatronics in this capacity can be very fucking creepy even when they're not trying to be. The Labyrinth scene where they're taking their heads off and like juggling them around, that genuinely terrified me as a child. I still love the movie, but I would always fast forward through that fucking part. Derek, how do you feel about Willy's Wonderland?
I'm excited for it. It's like Mandy meets Five Nights at Freddy's. It looks ridiculous. It looks exactly. Everybody's going to die. And that's what I'm there for. I'm not going in because I'm expecting Citizen Kane. I want to see Nicolas Cage acting like an asshole with fucking leaky Giuliani hair dye coming down his neck, beating the shit out of animatronics while teenagers die. And it looks like it's gonna fucking nail that.
Yeah. This will not be Citizen Kane. The only rosebud you're gonna see is gonna be from all the fucked butts that these animatronics are gonna just, oh my God, look at that thing.
I want to eat your Coom blooms.
Hey there, fellas.
Heard you had some Coombs.
Oh no, he really said that. Is this from the movie or from Five Nights at Freddy's?
That's from the trailer, yeah.
I can't tell.
Exactly.
Yeah, I gotta say though, I went to see my cousin the other night. And we played that Five Nights at Freddy VR while we were hanging out. It's one of those unnerving, uncomfortable things I've ever played in VR. It's horrendous. It's horrifying.
I believe you. All right, let's move along. I'm starting to get antsy in my pantsies about talking about WandaVision. I really want to get there. We have 4 more articles. All of them Warner Brothers related. Sorry, that's not true. The last one is not. The last one is Marvel leading into our topic. So, 1, Warner Brothers scrambles to appease talent following its HBO Max announcement. I only brought this up to bitch about how much actors get paid.
Yeah.
According to this article, Denzel Washington commands a $20 million salary plus a back-end fee for every film he's in. That's out of the gate. There's no negotiating for him. You pay me $20 million plus a back-end fee or I'm not in it. So, understandably, as much as I want to go, like Scott said this before, like eat the rich, like fuck them. What Warner Brothers did by just not consulting with anybody and going, we're releasing all of our films day and date on Max, had a lot of people kind of freaked out because movie theaters are closing, and a lot of these deals, as we've seen by Denzel's deal, includes that back end fee, which they count on with those releases. A lot of those are guaranteed. So Warner Brothers has been doing a lot of scrambling to try and make all these actors they work with happy so that all the talent doesn't just flutter away to other studios who aren't doing this. I don't know if you guys read through this. But the amount of money.
I have no problem taking this one if you want me to.
Absolutely. Go right ahead, please.
Fuck you, Denzel Washington, you greedy fucking Scrooge McDuck cunt. People have lost everything. These studios, they're Warner Brothers is putting all this stuff on HBO because obviously it's the parent company. It makes sense for them to try to at least get some base subscriptions because no one is going to the movies. Warner Brothers is losing more money than anybody on this. You already got your 20 fucking million. To me, to be throwing a temper tantrum over another 5 million in the heat of a pandemic where everyone is losing everything, it makes you a greedy son of a bitch, and it makes me not want to see anything Denzel Washington's in unless I can see for free from now on. Because fuck him.
And he's not even honestly a good actor. I mean, like I said in the past, he's himself.
Training Day was pretty fucking good.
But he was just Denzel Washington. He's not acting. He's not doing it.
But Harrison Ford though.
But Man on Fire was pretty good though. You know what I mean? But this has Jared Leto in it, which means like if it wasn't free, I wouldn't watch it ever because I fucking hate him. You know what I mean? Like it's honestly hard to believe that like Jared Leto isn't the one that this article is about because I feel like even though he isn't an A-lister compared to Denzel Washington, he would be the one that would throw a shit fit about pay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he's clearly, just a piece of shit.
Awful. Yeah.
Just the worst. No, but seriously, like, fuck you, Denzel. You know what I mean? Like, you got people like Dave Chappelle who are out there in their own hometowns investing their money in something that helps support the community, help giving people jobs, giving people who lost everything a way to rebuild. That's how you fucking lead. That's how you, and granted, nobody's saying that Denzel Washington has in any way inferred that he's a leader. But like, just don't be a greedy cunt right now. Don't be a fucking piece of shit. And like, this just reeks of like,
it's gross.
It's really gross.
To me, the thing is, I think what we're seeing with a lot of actors, what I wish we were seeing with more actors is that like, what we're talking about is their industry. Now, the whole thing with Tom Cruise freaking out on set, you know, it's like funny. And for a lot of people, it was like they felt vindicated because, you know, they were he was screaming out how they feel about when they see people without masks. But beyond that, like, if you listen to what he's saying like, this is our livelihood. This is if we fuck this up, nobody's getting paid. Like this industry will dry up and go away forever. And so it's like like financial sponges of the industry, the actors, if they want, once this fucking virus does go away, to still have a career, to still have an industry, they're going to have to take some cuts here and there. And what Warner Brothers is offering is I'm not going to go down the list of what they're doing, but it looks like they're actually being pretty generous with what they're offering actors.
Yeah.
But the question is, are these people, the small time people, of course, will likely take it. But like, yeah, big time. We're going to see like Denzel Washington and, people of that caliber just basically saying like, oh, well, I'll wait till it's done. Well, maybe if you do, nothing's going to be there when it's done,
Yeah.
I think like there's talk of actors potentially boycotting Warner Brothers films because of stuff like this. But like, what do you expect people to do? Like, do you really think there's gonna be any buzz, any excitement left for Black Widow when it finally fucking releases, or any of these other films? Like, I was excited to see Free Guy when it was supposed to release on December 11th. I can't say I don't have the same enthusiasm when it released alongside of 20 other films that have been on hold for a year. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna get lost in the fucking whirlwind of all these delayed releases because they're gonna do the best they can to kind of like stagger things so they're not competing directly. But at the same time, though, if other companies don't follow this similar business model and start making some kind of real revenue off these products they have locked in the vault, we're going to see them rapid fire releasing everything all at once as soon as they can to make up for it because they're going to be fucking treading water and drowning.
It's going to be like Derek when he finally sees his Dompire.
Yeah, just treading water in Coombs.
Yeah. He's going to turn into...
It's above his neck. He has to dog paddle, but she's just like ankles deep in it and he's loving it.
I mean, she's so tall that you're gonna have to literally wrap yourself up in cellophane and you use yourself as a ramrod.
That's the idea.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're gonna beat the cigar from that.
Oh, hey. So, keeping on the Warner Brothers HBO Max train, a little piece of news slipped out in a comment on the service that must pay Zack Snyder lots of money, Vero. Apparently, the Justice League. I'll never stop harping on that one. Who the fuck uses this weird, obscure service? Apparently, Zack Snyder. I have no idea why. The only answer
person who writes these
check.
articles and Zack Snyder use it.
Yeah, basically,
it's how he relays information.
No,
I'm saying to everybody else.
I said it last time I brought it up. I mean, good job, Vario, because people, at least media and people who write news articles, have to have an account just so they can see what the fuck kind of tidbits he's going to drop on there. But I digress. He dropped in a comment, a little interview he did on the service, and he just haphazardly or casually, I should say, mentioned that the Zack Snyder's Justice League, which is supposedly released in March, will be a 4-hour movie again. So there was a lot of talk of like releasing it as 4 1-hour episodes, and now he's just saying, no, I'm just gonna release it as 1 4-hour fuck off movie. And he confirmed not only that, but he confirmed that it's 4 hours, not counting the credits. So we're talking just a 4-hour chunk of shit. Derek, Scott, I'll start with Derek since I said your name first, and I'm not going to make the mistake I made last episode. How do you feel about it?
Scarrick?
You know what? I really don't know. Like, I know that Tarantino did on Netflix the extended edition of Hateful Eight. He separated into 4 episodes, and I kind of liked that because for a 4-hour long movie, it gives you a good spot to like take a break or watch the rest tomorrow or whatever. Because who the fuck has 4 hours to just sit there and watch a movie?
4 hours? Shit.
It's kind of hefty. But I mean, if Zach is saying that that's the way that he intends it to be seen, then I'm inclined to say, well, then that's the way that it should be seen.
Yeah.
I think like putting those kind of too much of those decisions in the hands of like the distribution executives is like you can kind of funnel away control from the director, which enough control has been taken from him on this movie. So if that's the way he intends it to be seen, then that's the way I want to watch it.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah, March is still the target month, which makes me excited. Scott, how do you feel about the recombining of these episodes into one film?
I mean, I gotta say, like, it is a little daunting to sit there for 4 hours through something. But at the same time, like, it's probably gonna be like a once in a lifetime experience, right? Like, you're gonna sit through it all at once. Like, it's something that everyone's been waiting for such a long time, campaigned for, like, from like. It's been what? It's been like 3 or 4 years, right?
Yeah.
In the making. And it's probably going to be the last film he's going to direct for the DCEU. So, I mean, like, I get him wanting it to be a big, giant, grand spectacle. I have no problem pausing it if I need to take a break and just coming back.
Yeah.
But when they talk about how it may get a theatrical release, that is where I'm just like a little, like, oh. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
that was rumored a while ago. I don't know if it's still on the table. I would just tell them not to. Like, please don't. Don't. I mean, especially if it's coming out in March. Sorry, guys. People keep saying, oh, we're going to be back to normal by this month. And then that month it gets buried under all these other months that just kept happening that no one was paying attention to. So like, don't put it in theaters. There's no fucking point. Yeah.
Why did you put a picture that's in captioned "Dick Flower in my homeland, Asia" in the Discord?
The Coom Blooms.
Oh, that's a Coom Bloom. Okay, so Daddy Dompires Coom Blooms has to be the title of the episode. I mean, there's no other solution.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Coom Blooms for sure.
Coom Blooms. You don't like Daddy Dompire?
No, it's a little daunting.
Okay.
Daddy Dompire is a little, but maybe daunting Daddy Dompire.
Whoa! All right.
Okay. I like the alliteration. I'm
It's
a sucker
evolving.
for alliteration.
No, I mean, we could go for double alliteration. We have to find. No, it's too much. It's too much. It's too dangerous.
Daunting Daddy Dompires Coom Bloom.
Coom Bloom Room. No.
Coom Bloom. I don't know. All right, we'll think about it later. We got a lot to play with here.
Yeah.
Okay. And not just because she's very tall, but we have a lot to play with.
Yeah.
So, last piece of Warner Brothers news. There's some drama. I'm sorry. Did you have something to kick into Daddy Dompire?
I kind of like lost my train of thought while I was trying to say what I thought about the Zack Snyder cut because I was kind of like this. To be honest, that's why I was kind of like, I don't.
It's a noble cause.
But I mean, truthfully, like I don't see myself sitting through a 4-hour movie more than once and actually paying attention to all of it. It might be something I put on in the background and watch while I'm doing other stuff after the first initial sit down. It's, I mean, like Derek said, like however he thinks it's best viewed is how we should view it. But I feel like I want to see it on the big screen. I do. Even if it's 4 hours long, I want them to have like an intermission. I want to go and sit down with a fucking giant bucket of popcorn and a giant soda that's going to give me diabetes. And I want to watch this because like it's, I mean, he makes beautiful films. And I think that if he would have been able to do a 4-hour cut from the get-go, Justice League probably could have been a real competitor for, Marvel's Avengers if he would have had time to fucking do things that we wanted to do them.
Yeah.
I would get absolutely exhausted watching a 4-hour long film in a movie theater. Like I would just get so fidgety by the end of that.
I would not at all.
I would like need a Xanax. Like I'd have to treat it like a fucking flight. Like just that's way too long, dude. Even when movies are like 2.5 hours long, at like an hour and 45, I'm like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. Like I just can't.
Really?
I just can't do it. Yeah.
I
don't know why.
That's weird. I'm the most.
I can do 2.5. I can't do much more than 2.5.
Yeah.
Depending on what the content is. If it's really interesting, I'm usually okay until 3. But if you're passing the 3-hour mark, I'm probably Dunsky.
I mean, if you got like a 4-hour movie, and you do like a 10 or 15 minute intermission in the middle of it.
It's true.
But, I mean,
that's fine.
I know it probably doesn't make any sense because I am one of the most hyperactive, fidgety people in the world. But if I'm dialed in on something, man, I have no problem. I could sit for six hours and watch like an entire miniseries without leaving the couch.
Yeah, I can do that on my couch. I can do that. But in a movie theater, dude, I went and saw that movie. This is years ago. That movie W with Josh Brolin when he played George Washington. Yeah. Dude, I got like an hour into that movie and I was like, I just got an idea. Fuck this. And I got up and I walked out. I paid full price for a ticket and only got half the movie by choice because I just couldn't sit there anymore. It just kept going and going and going. Couldn't stand it.
Fair.
I mean, it also could be that's just an exhausting movie to sit through.
It is. It's one of 2 movies I've ever walked out on. The other one was Ultraviolet, starring Mila Jovovich, which was just so stupid that I had to leave after like
I've never seen W. Is it worth it? Is it? I couldn't tell if you were telling me it was just exhausting.
Isn't.
Okay.
No, it was pretty bad.
Fair enough. Ethan Hawke is supposedly playing the villain in the Oscar Isaac-led Moon Knight series that will be coming out to Disney Plus. I like Ethan Hawke. I think he's a good actor. He's been in some weird stuff, but he's been in some good stuff too. I mean, as an actor, I think he's good at his trade. That's basically where I'm going with this. My favorite part of this article.
How do you feel about those gray hairs he's getting?
You into that?
No, he's not allowed in. Not him.
They're coming in.
Not him.
He's got that little.
Is it because his eyes are too beady?
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it.
Big eyes, gray hair.
He's piercing through me, right through the walls there, so I don't have to see the face on the other side of the glory hole. But I still feel like he's looking at me the whole time. You know?
Yeah, he's got very very leery energy.
Yeah. So I don't know any of these people's names, and this is why I brought this up. Moon Knight's actual arch nemesis is considered to be someone named Raoul Bushman. Raoul! his employer and fellow mercenary, fellow mercenary who betrayed the superhero when they stumbled upon an archaeological dig that contained valuable Egyptian gold. It sounds like he's got a real bad case of mirror, but also bad superhero guy, which I can't fucking stand. And it looks like they're going to do it again. Scott, how do you feel about Ethan Hawke joining the cast?
I don't care.
That's exactly the response I was hoping for. Derek, how do you feel about it?
I do care because Ethan Hawke is incredible in everything that he's in. And so I'm happy to see him in this. But other than that, I listen to me. I literally don't know what else to say other than that.
No, that's fine. Like I said, I included this not for the casting news, because normally I wouldn't just say, hey, let's talk about this person being in this thing. Not interesting. There's a list here of Moon Knight's Rogues Gallery, and it is a fucking doozy. It sounds like someone is listing all the knockoff superhero costumes at a Spirits Halloween store. So there's Bengal.
You remember those little pink men you'd get? They looked like erasers, but they weren't erasers.
Yeah.
It sounds like someone's just listing out what all of their canonical names were for like all the entire collector's set.
I'm gonna read a couple, and I want you to tell me which one your favorite one is. There's only one, two, three, four people I know in this list.
There's a few notables.
Bengal, Black Tarantula, the Bros Grimm, which is probably my favorite. They're called the Bros Grimm. Bullseye, okay, I've heard of him. Count Nefaria, Crossfire, Despair. Oh god, I just realized it's supposed to be Despair. Oh no, it's spelled so stupidly. Dokken, Demo Goblin, Flag Smasher, Gypsy Moth, the Hate Monger.
Flag Smasher?
Yeah.
Is that like an old Captain America enemy?
Probably. The Hate Monger, Hobgoblin, okay. The Hood, Kang the Conqueror, okay. Madam Mask, Mr. Hyde, Mr. Jip, Nightmare, Norman Osborn, okay, we know that name, right? Scarecrow, Taskmaster, another one, Zodiac, and Deadpool, apparently. So,
Mr. Jip?
Mr. Jip.
That sounds like
is that just like a
he just never pays you back.
That's his arc villain. He borrowed all this money and never returned.
You pay for gas, I'll pay for parking.
Yeah.
But then he doesn't have any cash when you get there.
You go to the diner.
I only got my card, man.
You got this? I forgot my wallet.
My wallet's in my other costume, guys. I don't know what I'm going to do.
I got to know what Mr. Jip looks like. I got to know.
Despair is my favorite because when I read it, my head didn't tell me that it was supposed to be like actually Despair. So now that's my favorite one.
My favorite is the Zodiac because I didn't know that Ted Cruz was in the Moon Knight.
Oh God! Have you guys seen Mr. Jip before?
No,
I have not seen Mr. Jip, but now I have to go look it up.
I'm putting it in the chat. Don't you worry.
Oh yeah, that's not good.
Yeah,
that's the Coom Bloom, dude.
Oh my God! I feel like the episode image has to include Mr. Jip because it's horrifying.
Oh no, he is the Coom Bloom. It's fate, bro. It's fucking fate.
Shit.
It has to be Coom Bloom. Oh, he's hard to look at. I'm sorry, listeners.
His spine looks like a spider's crawling on his back, or no, like a silverfish. That's what those things are called, right?
This guy looks like he's been put into a dirty sock and left in the corner for about 6 years.
Yeah, he's got an eyeball on his shoulder. And on his knee, so he
got bit by a radioactive cum sock. That's how he came about.
Oh my God! I'm of the opinion that the image for the podcast is literally just him.
Yeah,
like I mean, holy shit!
Nothing else.
That's
needed.
Fantastic. Oh Jesus! That is he's a sight to behold.
He's got a whole face on his shoulder. His shoulder's the head. He's got a mouth.
Or is the head the shoulder?
Ooh.
I think both those things mean the same thing.
Out.
All right, can we talk about WandaVision, please? Well, he's got to pee.
I got to pee.
Yes, called it. All right, we'll go take a little vacation to Shill City.
Bro.
While Derek knocks over everything on his way out to the bathroom.
It's not good.
Oh no, he looks haggard as fuck, and I love it. He looks like he looks like Jim Carrey's The Grinch if he was just covered in cum and Elmer's glue.
Mr. Jip's Haggard Hand and the Coom Blooms sounds like a fucking ska band. Mr. Jip's Haggard Hands and the Coom Blooms.
It really does sound like a ska band. They opened up for Op Ivy.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Five Iron Frenzy toured with them for years, but they just never made it big. They never. They couldn't lock down a good trombone player. You know what I mean? They couldn't lock down the coveted trombone.
They always found somebody that had like a trick elbow, could never really play the thing properly.
Yeah.
Guys, thanks for listening. You can check us out at facebook.com/thecynicalnerd. Scott, how can they find us on Twitter?
Oh, we are at the Schmegnerd. That is the Schmegnerd, SHMEGNERD. You can also hit us up with a hashtag AskTCN if you have any questions. You can hit us with that hashtag FuckTCN. If we got something wrong, or if you want to bicker, if you want to fight about something, let us know, man. We'll bicker all day.
Yeah.
Only two of us have real jobs.
If you want to send us a question and you don't have a Twitter account because you're over the age of, I don't know, 45 maybe? That sounds about right. You can send us in a question to an email address at questions@thecynicalnerd.com. And that was perfect timing because you're back and ready to go. Mm-hmm. How was your pee-pee? Was it satisfying?
It was good. I fully evacuated my bladder. So
how do you feel about Mr. Jip? Mr. Jip's, what was it?
Hazard hand or some shit like that.
Oh,
Mr. Jip's nuts and tips.
it was Mr. Jib's something hands, haphazardly
Haggard
hands and the Coom Blooms.
Yeah, Mr. Jip's Haggard hands and the Coom Blooms.
Sounds like a ska band.
Wait, don't do it. Shit. I was gonna make him guess what genre of music he thought it sounded like.
You don't know we're playing games.
Yeah. That's true. It's true.
All you have to do is just Photoshop checkered Vans onto his feet, and a fucking fedora. Maybe a trombone in one of his hands.
Yes.
Yeah, but he can't play the trombone because he's got a trick elbow.
Well, his elbow is also a face with a chin, so it's difficult.
Right. Well, that's clearly what
is the origin story of Mr. Jip?
I have no idea. I don't want to know. I want to talk about WandaVision. Can we please?
Same.
Boys, we come down to our main discussion of the week. That is the first 2 episodes of WandaVision, which were released on Friday on Disney Plus. And I know that Derek is bursting at the seams to find out what we feel about it. And Scott, would you like to take the honors?
No, you go first. I want to make Derek wait.
Oh, okay. I was trying to help Derek bust that nut because he kind of has a general idea.
I know he's excited to. But I'm gonna go last.
In that case, Derek, how did you feel about the first 2 episodes of WandaVision?
I felt pretty good about it. It was pretty enjoyable. I thought that they were doing old TV tropes. It was like, beyond the fact that they're setting up this weird narrative, like one thing Veronica and I were saying was like, it kind of feels like we're watching like an episode of I Love Lucy or like Bewitched or whatever. And that was kind of cool. Like it felt like when you were a kid and you were watching Nick at Night, like all those old jokes. I mean, they did it really well. Like, so just that sort of like authenticity of it, I think they did really well. But it had the exact quality I was hoping it would have, where it was kind of freaky. I will admit that in both episodes, to get to that point, felt like not enough was happening leading up to it. Which would have made sense with like just the first episode, but then the same thing kind of happened in the second episode. But, you know, during the dinner scene in the first episode, when they were saying like, where are you guys from? Where are you guys from? And it was like freaky.
Yeah.
Dude starts choking. It was like, it almost like sets off your like anxiety. You're like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck's going on? Same thing with the, the beekeeper. What the fuck's going on with that guy?
That was weird.
The fact that she, consciously says no, and then it rewinds makes me think that, my theory, not to brag or anything, about it being a constructed thing powered by the Mind Stone, maybe that has something to do with it. So I really liked it. I was into it.
That's a good, quick,
basic thoughts.
Yeah, I like that. I'll go next, and Scott's going to go last. I really enjoyed it. For most of the same reasons that Derek did. And also surprise, of course, I liked it. I like most things. The humor, again, I would bring it up because it landed for me because they did it so earnestly. Like, they didn't get the joke, not all the time anyway, off of the sarcastic irony of like what they were doing. Like, a lot of the humor was in keeping with a show that would be on back then, but it worked just because of like, it was such a ludicrous fucking situation. Hats off to Wanda for the fucking banger of a joke right out the gate in the first episode where she says, "You and your indestructible head."
Yeah,
and I'm like,
yeah.
fuck, lady, that's not cool. I'm taking shots across the bow at him. The whole, like, even the storyline was like a true, like, slapstick. They both were thinking the same thing, was different situations. And let's see what kind of comedy comes out of it. Like, it was truly inspired by those shows. So that they said they took inspiration for the episode 1 from like the Dick Van Dyke Show. And in fact, a little fun fact for everybody, Dick Van Dyke actually consulted on the humor in these episodes to make it feel more authentic. I didn't know that. I found out recently. The second episode with the opener that was basically Bewitched was pretty neat. And it looks like they're jumping forward in different TV era times a little bit. Like the first one's kind of in the 60s, and then it's like late 60s, early 70s. And I think they're going to keep doing that. Yeah. Because from the trailer, it looked like there was some like Roseanne 90s vibes in there somewhere. The mystery of like what's going on is really what's driving this here. And I have obviously the Sword, which we've talked about, the organization, they're clearly involved. Mm-hmm. She got the helicopter that had the Sword logo on it. The end of the first episode was someone in a Sword logo area, like monitoring it as if it was an actual TV show, which was cool. I don't know if this is like, I don't know if this is Wanda being held against her will, and I don't know. There's a lot. I don't want to dive into it too much right now because we're doing general thoughts, so I'll leave it for a deeper discussion. But I liked it a lot. I actively wanted to watch more of it. I'm happy it's 30 minutes as opposed to an hour. I feel like it works a lot better. And there's like, here's a little adventure snippet. I thought the gum in the gum fucking up Vision was just campy enough to fit into like a Bewitched episode plot very well. And Agnes's character is fantastic, and I fucking love it. So, Scott, tell us how you felt about it.
I mean, I definitely felt like I was a little kid again. Like I was 8 years old watching Nick at Night, like 8 p.m. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I used to love I Love Lucy, Bewitched, like all those shows. It kind of has me excited to see what other eras they might touch on. Maybe we'll get like a Laverne and Shirley type vibe at some point. It looks like we're moving on to Happy Days though, from what I saw with the next episode. Mm-hmm. That we're definitely getting some Brady Bunch vibes in there. You know what I mean? I feel like there are pacing issues though. I found myself more interested in the individual narratives of the show, kind of just being like caught in the moment. And again, like it feels like you're watching like a real show from the 50s, even with having those bars come in on the side. So it's back in the old aspect ratio. I found myself more interested in the actual plots of the episodes. that when like something weird finally did happen, like, hey, fuck off! Like, what's gonna happen with the magic show? You know what I mean? Like, it was just like, like in that. But at the same time, like for me, as I don't know if it's gonna work when we come full circle as like a Marvel action show. Yeah, I think it's. I like seeing a show of this format in modern day, basically.
Yeah,
but it seems like we're getting little breadcrumbs, and they're not. I mean, like the manhole. We all saw the manhole up in the middle of the street, but it wasn't there earlier in the episode, like in the beginning. There was no manhole cover there. There's lots of weird little Easter eggs throughout it. I didn't even pick up on the indestructible head thing in that way. I didn't even hit me like, oh yeah, he gets his fucking head crushed in and he rips the stone out.
That's, by the way, what makes me think that it's a machination of her own, because of course when she saw her husband get his head crushed in her reality, he has an indestructible head.
Yeah.
But I'm also wondering if there's like some kind of, because I mean, like, we're dealing with a Black Widow movie that's probably going to take place. Well, it's definitely going to take place in the past, but it could be immediately after Civil War. We don't know where in the timeline a lot of this shit's falling in Phase 4 yet. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this is them in hiding You know what I mean? Or like, or they go into hiding willingly before the events of Infinity War. Even. You know what I mean? Because like it could potentially be something like that. You know, like it is possible if this is all being kind of created by the Mind Stone. The stones were destroyed by Thanos when he snapped to destroy them. For the Mind Stone to still exist, someone would have had to either travel through Marvel's confusing, convoluted time travel system, grabbed it, borrowed it for however long they keep them, and will have to at some point return it back to its original place exactly. Or this takes place before the Mind Stone was destroyed. So this leads me to believe that this might be somewhere in the past, that Vision might actually still be there, and because they know that they can't, like they might be imprisoned of their own free will. You know what I mean, like they may have allowed Sword to imprison them, and because they know they can't live their happy life, this might be the way of living out their fantasy. You know what I mean? The only way they know how, because I mean, Wanda was raised, she was an orphan, wasn't she? So I mean, like, her entire model of the happy modern family or happy family would just be what she saw throughout the ages on television.
Yeah,
so it would make sense psychologically that this would just be them both very, very alive still, back in time a little bit, and this is her way of them having their happily ever after, since they're in hiding for, maybe they're hiding because they know Thanos is coming, maybe they're in hiding for another reason.
So
because when we find them in Infinity War, they're on the run with Captain America over in Europe,
right?
So
they get yelled at because they didn't come back right when they were supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a different theory, which is that this is post Endgame, and that Vision is dead, and this is in Wanda's mind, and it's how she's kind of coping with it. But I also think there's an external force at play. There's been a lot of speculation online that Mephisto, which is basically the devil of the MCU, is involved because of the apparent kid aspect to this. And it's something I wanted to bring up in our deeper discussion section, which is that they keep saying for the children in this episode. And it's pretty clear that Agnes, who I suspect might be representing a character called Agatha in the comics, who is a servant of Mephisto, is there to like keep her in this world and keep her distracted and keep her. I think they're trying to push her towards materializing kids in her pocket reality for some reason. In the comic books, I don't know the exact specifics, and I'm glad, because I don't want to ruin it for anybody if this is what they do. But in the comic books, Mephisto like hashes some plot to like get her to have kids because it would like drain her power or some weird comic booky shit like that. It feels like there's something going on though, where some external force is trying to get her to like manifest kids, because the whole town keeps saying for the children. There's something weird going on with that. And then they have a conversation on the couch, and she stands up and she's got a belly, and you're like, oh shit. Okay. Vision, go ahead. That would be
the nanobites all up in her, the nanocooms.
That would be my I think she's in this pocket reality that she's creating.
She's gonna give birth to a printer.
She's
a fucking HP laser jet. Just
what if it's a Tamagotchi? Then that's how you have to raise it.
Or she gives birth to just a Furby, just covered in placenta.
Oh God, you're conjuring nightmare images this week.
Nothing compares to Mr. Jip, bro. I don't care what you say.
Yeah, it doesn't get worse than Mr. Jip.
Mr. Jip's Haggard hands and the Coom bloom.
He looks like one of the illustrations from Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Went to a bukkake party.
Oh no!
Volunteered at a bukkake party.
New Rule 34 porn site, MrJip.com. Yes,
I gotta look for it.
No, please. All right, you look for it. I'm gonna keep waxing poetic about the potential implications. So I think the whole town is a construct of her, because we know that she's got reality altering powers that she hasn't really expanded upon too much on film. I think she's being manipulated by an external force, whether it's Mephisto or not. Is there really?
No.
Oh no. Okay, good.
I got there's so much terrible shit on my desktop right now.
You gotta burn the whole thing to the ground. As soon as we finish the recording,
I put in Mr. Jip Rule 34, and I got Mr. Pickles. It's not what you want. It's not what you want. Never again. I just learned a very valuable lesson, boys.
It looks like Sword, sorry, I couldn't get it out, is like monitoring the situation from the outside and trying to wake her up almost. Like, I don't know what the fuck was up with the beekeeper suit, but that was a Sword employee. And she, like you said, she said no. and then time rewinds and it goes back and then they're fine again. So I think Wanda is being manipulated to stay in this pocket reality, whatever it is she's constructed in her mind. And obviously physically, I mean, it's not just all in her head. And I think that Sword is trying to get her out of it, trying to help her free herself from it. Something is coercing her to continue this kind of charade and like push her through the motions. And I think it's in the current day because we were told early on that this whole series was setting up Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. So we talked about it before, but the theory that she is kind of a villain in that movie, or at least does enough damage to the fabric of reality at the end of the show that Strange has to fix it, is I hope where it goes, because that would be Marvel doing the good choice and not the safe choice, with her waking up and realizing Vision is actually dead and they don't bring him back magically somehow. I would love that. Please let it be true. Like, people lose people in real life all the time. They don't just get to magically pop back into existence. So we were told in Endgame that the destruction of the Infinity Stones could not be reversed because of the nature of the stone. So, like, he's dead. Leave him dead. Or at least give me a really fucking good explanation that doesn't involve Wanda's magical brain bringing him back. Like someone else did it, please. Like Shuri or something. I don't fucking know. I don't know. I like the series a lot. Did you guys have any like deep dive like points to bring up, or did I cover all of them in my rant?
Not really. I just, I'm wondering if it's like something post, like Endgame that happened, or if it's something like maybe when she was destroying the Mind Stone in Infinity War, she like implanted this dream, like, I don't know, this dream in Vision's head and went in there with him. And this is all happening in the moment before Thanos steals it. But then it wouldn't really explain why Sword would be there. That's what's cool about it, is there's enough going on that you're kind of like, oh, well, this is my theory. But then something happens that supports it. But then something happens that doesn't. So it's like, okay, well, it's very effectively doing that thing where you have to come back next week and keep watching.
Yeah. I've enjoyed it a lot. I'm really looking forward to the next episode. I'm actually a little bummed, but I'm a little bummed at the whole like release one episode a week thing, because I'd much rather just watch the whole fucking thing. Please give it to me right now. But we knew they were going to do it because Disney Plus is doing this with all of their shows apparently to keep that money rolling in month after month. Yeah. I think they actually have, if I'm not mistaken, the way the Marvel shows are all lined up, it's like one ends and one starts pretty soon. So, I mean, hey, if nothing else, we'll have main discussion topics lined up for the next 2 years, boys. Yeah. Thanks, Disney Plus. I don't know. I guess final thoughts on the episodes? Final thoughts on WandaVision in general?
Psyched for it. That's it.
Yeah. So I don't really have. I just blew my whole load talking about like Mephisto and shit. So yeah, I'm
yeah, you look like you need a glass of water.
Yeah. I do actually. I
Mr.
ran
Jim
out.
needs a towel.
Oh no! Or do I need a towel after Mr. Chip is done with me?
I feel like you would need a hepatitis shot after Mr. Jim's done with you. Mr. Jim looks like transfusion. It looks like a napkin that you would find like in the sewer outside of a strip club. Like somebody, like somebody who ate the buffet and then like dabbed the corners of their mouth with it and threw it in the wet gutter before they got into their
oh, I thought you were going way grosser. Yeah, I thought you were going like dried up cum napkin.
No.
No, you'd never make a joke
I feel like eating at a strip club's way grosser than jerking off.
It really is.
I wouldn't do either. I wouldn't do either, for the record, listeners.
Valid point.
Yeah, but I'm sure as shit not putting anything in that building in my mouth. There's no fucking way. I don't care what it is.
All right, boys. If we have no other points to bring up, that's gonna wrap us up for the week. This has been episode 16. It's probably gonna be titled
Mr. Jib's Jizz Jacuzzi. Mr. Jib's Jizz Koozie.
Oh no! I don't know if I don't want to put jizz in the title.
All right, well,
I'm okay with putting Coom in there. I'm not.
Yeah,
okay
Coom
with
is enough of a variation that it's not totally gross.
I agree.
It's not flagged on Google or anything.
As is our entire Discord chat now. Probably also on a watch list.
Moon cocky? No.
We've already done a cocky-esque.
Cocky.
We did pan cocky. I was cool with
I like Mr. Jip's haggard hands and Coom looms.
Yeah, Mr.
I can't even say it.
Only because I'm going to put him in checkered Vans.
I just want the Scott outfit more than anything.
and the fucking Milady hat, you know. All right, boys. Thanks for hanging out. Scott, where can they find you on the internet?
You can find me at twitch.tv/swearwolf. SWEARWOLFE. I'm also on YouTube and Facebook Gaming at Swearwolf.
Derek, how about you?
You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at Dr. Gloom MD. That's DRGLOOMMD.
Nice. What does the MD stand for?
Massive Donger.
Okay, Massive Donger. Very nice, very nice. Was HB taken for Honkin' Beefer? Dr. Gloom
Dr.
HB.
Gloom HB.
And last but not least, you can find me Twitch and Twitter at TCN, please. Very easy. I never spell mine because TCN is an acronym. So like,
yeah, you're already
whatever.
spelling it, sort of.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know how to spell plays, then well,
then
you shouldn't show up anyway.
Yeah. How did you guys find this podcast?
Then go back to the 5th grade spelling bee that you clearly decided to quit high school over. Okay, that's going to wrap it up. Thanks, guys, for hanging out, and we'll see you next week.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. If Mr. Jim doesn't get me, I'll be here. I feel like he's under my bed and in my closet at the same time.